So yeah, I have been coaching I've been a consultant for 14 years. I've been coaching for probably about 12 years, so kind of about the same. And after doing this, I would say that I think, honestly, I'm a better coach than I am a leader. So I learned a lot about myself just putting this together for you guys. I've coached little girls, which requires patience, and we need that as leaders. And then I coach high school right now. So that's actually, I love the high school girls. You can push them. But anyway, so I'm going to try and twist the thinking a little bit from the leading that has been in my brain anyway to coaching, and maybe what some of the differences are, but yet what the similarities are as well. So who here has played on some sort of sport at some point in their life? Okay. So there's so many people here. I was going to put this out there, but now I'm just going to have you think amongst yourselves. What were so when you look back and you think about some of your favorite coaches, think about what characteristics that they had that you loved. And then flip it and think about some of the characteristics that you didn't like that they had. And so imagine your role of leader as a coach instead, and what that might look like. Oh my gosh, I so need glasses. Okay, it's so my New Year's resolution. It's one resolution I will keep, and that is to get my eyes checked. That's an easy one. Okay, so for me, my passion is soccer. So I played it, I still play it, and I coach. And so I just want you to imagine your team of consultants as a team of soccer players, just because that's what comes to my mind. So thinking about them as players versus consultants. So I start every season we get the team together and we talk about what their goals are, what they want that season to look like, what, we have, and it's quite a list. And we print that list out and then everybody signs it, we laminate it, everybody gets a copy. And so I tell them that my job is to help support them individually and as a team so that we can reach those goals that they set, because it's a team effort. But we need individual growth to make that happen. So as a leader, my question is your team following your goals or theirs? Secondly, do I guess what positions they're good at? No. Even though I've seen them, in high school we have tryouts, so I've seen them at open practices. I have kind of a good idea, but when we actually form our teams, I kind of play stupid. I don't even really assume they know much of the basics at first, even though in my mind I recognize that these girls, a lot of them have been playing since they were in the womb. So I know they know the game, but I don't assume that. We kind of start at the beginning. I find what their strengths are and guide them along. So as a leader, do you guess what they're good at, or do you take the time to find out for sure? Like Jen said, sometimes you got to pull it out of them, but help them find out what their strengths are. We need to see our teammates as people with hopes, dreams, and fears, not just consultants. I know those girls coming to me have all of that going on. So I forget that adults have those same things. And how do we do this? What do we do every day? We practice. And we practice and we practice. When you're in a part of a team sport, you practice 3 times as much as any games that you actually get to play in. So I always say it's important you love the sport, first of all, because you are going to practice more than you get to play. So with that in mind, knowing that it's a lot of practice, as a coach, it's really important that I am prepared. They have to trust me. They have to know that their time is going to be respected, and that when they come to practice, they know that I will be prepared. In fact, because I'm the oldest coach, although they did just hire my husband, so now he takes that honor, I have a clipboard. And they call me the clipboard coach because the other girls are young and they just either wing it or they know what they're doing, or they just have a piece of paper in their pocket, which is so not me. I have a nice clipboard, and if it's raining, it has a cover. I'm the type A coach as well. So anyway, But yeah, clipboard coach. So I'm very organized. I'm very prepared. But with that, with practices, because there's so many, I make sure that there's a variety of drills to work on. And so keeping that in mind with, what am I relating to with practices? Trainings, right? Sorry, I didn't make that segue for you. So with your trainings, making sure that there's a variety of training going on. Some of my practices are captain-led. So your leaders, let them be involved. But every time they know we are going to start with a possession drill and we're going to end with a scrimmage. Those are kind of the basics. And I tell them that the fun stuff is the fun stuff, but the boring stuff is what you learn from. So if we have fun Fridays, I hate fun Fridays, to be honest, because it doesn't fit my type A personality. I want them to learn. I want them to move forward. Fun Fridays don't really start till we're like kicking about halfway through the season. But Fun Fridays, I know it's important to them. We crank the tunes. I get out. I dance with them. I play with them. It's a waste of time, in my opinion, in that sense. But it's fun for them, and I know that they need that. So making sure that they're having fun is super important. And I'm going to talk about that at the end. So overall, the practices are designed to build on their skills, and we track their results so that they can see their progress. A lot of that is individual tracking. So we do this thing, we call them Corver moves. So every day we also work on Corver moves. And then this last year we set a challenge, and they're just like fancy moves. Like, woo, who can do a step over and who can. So every day we do these things. And we set a goal this year for everybody to try one in a game. So we practiced them every day, and I said, here's your chance to make your mistakes. Here's your chance to, and then shine in the game. Just try it. 16 out of 19 girls whipped out a Corver move in a game this last season. So that was like way higher than I thought, so it was really fun for them to see that. Another thing we do, of course it's sports, but the mile run. And what's interesting to me is we give hall passes for certain things, so some girls didn't even have to do it again, and they wanted to because they wanted to see if they could beat their time from before. So it's just, they don't get penalized if they don't, but every single person beat their time from the time before. 19 girls, they all beat their time. So things like that so that they can see it gives them an individual sense of accomplishment. So again, like the recognition that we do is so important. And maybe recognizing that they beat their sales from last year, February, things like that. I think it shows them that they're not wasting their time at all those practices. That overall makes the team stronger. And we can do the same thing with our consultants. Regarding mistakes, and I just thought I'd just add this. We were on a really good roll. In fact, anyway, so yeah, we were awesome this season. So I'm sure it was the coaching. So one of our defenders scored a goal for us, for the other team, like own goal. Devastated. So I left her in. I didn't sub her right away, left her in. It was her time to subbed her out. And of course, she's like falling apart out there because they had a goal set at the beginning that they were going to not have any goals scored against them that game. So she had a goal scored against her, and she's like barely holding on out there. Finally comes out, and I looked at her and I said, Christine Foray, short-term memory. I just looked at her and I think, I say this stuff to my girls, I don't say this to my adults. Short-term memory. And she looked at me, she goes, what? I go, it happened, we're over it. And she goes, and she kind of laughed. I said, in fact, I don't even know why you're crying, I don't even remember what happened, right? Short-term memory. And then after, when the emotion was gone, I said, how did that happen? And she goes, I was running towards my own goal. She knew. Like, any defender in the game knows as soon as you're facing your goal, that's a really bad position to be in. Deflects off you, you're facing the goal, it's horrible. She knew. So I said, good. And she looked at me like, you're so insane. And I said, the reason why that's good is because you learned from it. So yay. And then what happened is we do put-ups. And so you guys know what a put-up is? Okay, so everybody put-ups. So we do put-ups. And she said, I want to put up myself for making this error in front of everyone so you could learn from it. So she learned from it, moved on, short-term memory. So, STM. And then finally, it's important to have fun. You know, at the end of the day, are they going to remember that they had the best coach ever? Probably not. You know what they're going to remember? And I know without a doubt what they're going to remember. The pasta feeds and the sleepovers, of which I'm not a part of. Right? That's what they might remember the fun Fridays with the coach out there dancing and stuff. But it's the pasta, it's the team events that they're going to remember. So keep that in mind too, like how important it is to not just, you know, we've even talked about like at our unit workshops, maybe cutting out a little early to either go do like a food bank thing, or even just something simple as playing games, playing cards. Like just something like, just so that it's not always every time we see each other, it's training. So, fun. My kids have said what they look for in a coach is someone who, these are high school kids, but I think adults it applies to. Someone who supports, rewards, teaches, and makes it fun. And then I have this thing. This is something I printed out a long time ago. It's called a model coach model, M-O-D-E-L, model coach definition. And a model coach is one who creates an environment in which athletes would report that they enjoyed being in the coach's program and wanted to return for another season with that coach. They learned a lot from the coach, not just skills and strategies of the sport, but also skills that would be helpful in other aspects of their life. And the coach made them feel confident. So are our consultants feeling that about us, I think, is how we can transfer that. The parents of the athletes, so let's say your consultants come with you, and they come with their parents. And they're going to report that their children enjoyed your program, looked forward to participating in the sport, that their child had the opportunity to develop friendships with other participants, their child's self-esteem increased, their child's skill and fitness level increased. And the athletes, parents, and program organizers, maybe your RVPs would report that. The coach conducts him or herself in a mature and professional manner. The coach has the interests of the athlete as a primary concern. The coach is well organized. The coach provides challenging training sessions. The coach demonstrates respect for each of the participants being coached. The coach is able to communicate well with the participants. The coach provides good corrective instruction in a positive fashion. The coach is knowledgeable about the sport and about the development of athletes. And the coach is an exemplary role model. Okay, so in closing, think of your team as a group of little athletes, and may you all have an undefeated season.
Thank you, Stacy Masters. That was really wonderful.
I